All right, I'm going to talk about having a fabrication toolbox or tool bench. A lot of times when you have a lot of extra parts and pieces, especially nuts and bolts and hydraulic fittings and or screws and clamps and stuff like that, you tend to not have them as organized, if you will, as they could be. And one of the things that I have done over the years is just collect a ton of fabrication hardware, I'll call it. And what happens is the hardware ends up in a box and you don't know exactly what you have after a couple months, and then you quickly become lost in a bunch of hardware for fabrication, and then you go out and buy what you need just to realize later on that you had the same exact thing right in a box. So what I would recommend to get away from that is to get yourself a nice fabrication bench. I'm going to do a separate video on both toolboxes and fabrication toolboxes. I have a ton of toolboxes and fabrication boxes in my garage and or my basement, and I'm going to do a separate video on which brands I like, which brands I didn't like. So I'm not going to talk about that here, but if you can take all your fabrication parts, hardware and pieces and put them in a fabrication toolbox, it'll be a life changer when it comes to fixing something that's broken, right? So if you can imagine you've got something in your shop or in your garage and you know what you need, but you just have no idea where that part or piece is. Well, if you put things in drawers like this, for example, I'm gonna close this up. For example, this is my fabrication box, so I've got just a bunch of drawers and I know exactly where everything is based on what the category it fits. So for example, if I'm doing electrical repairs or fabrication, I have an electrical drawer full of fuses, zip ties, and shrink tubing and connectors and lights and everything else under the sun that would be categorized as electrical fabrication hardware, right? So that's all in that one drawer. And then if I was to be working on hydraulics, right, I do a lot of hydraulic repair, I have a drawer full of hydraulic parts and pieces, from O-rings to rod seals to compression fittings to temporary caps so I don't get dirt in a fitting when the hose is taken off, to a bag full of bushings that I might use. I have a micrometer set up so I can measure rods on, hydraulic rod and piston seals and all that stuff. I got O-rings that are metric and standard sizes. So all these things would be categorized as hydraulic fabrication and or repair, and they are all in this drawer, right? So you can see that when you start to build these drawers kind of specific to what you're storing, it's easy. I have a drawer full of nuts and bolts and washers. So I've got, washers all in this bin. I've got bolts in that bin. All the nuts are in that bin. And I've got an assortment of nuts and bolts that are larger in the main drawer area. And of course I have a bag full of smalls, right? There's all kinds of smalls in there. So the point is that if you organize all your fabrication parts and pieces in one box in specific drawers, the process to finding what you have is quick and easy. So when you've got something pulled into your shop and you need a part or a piece, you go to the fabrication bench and you spend, I don't know, a minute or two looking for it. And if it's not there, then you know you have to buy it, right, to do it. I've got another drawer here. Most of this is hose clamps, clamping type style, pins, category 1 hitch pin type style mechanisms for tractors. I've got axle brackets, a lot of heavier pins in the back. So you can see if it's a certain thing I'm looking for, I go into the right drawer and then it's right there, or it's not there and I know it's not there pretty quick. This is all new items. These are all smalls. So this would be anything new, lock nuts, box of brand new lock nuts. I got grommets, I've got cotter pins, right? I've got nuts and washers, both metric and standard. I got assembly pins for tractors, all different sizes. We've got grease fittings, hitch clip pins, and just about everything. I have a rivet gun with rivets. I can use that. So you can kind of see hose clamps, pretty much everything and anything I would ever need that's new would be in this drawer. So that's pretty easy. Then my top drawer is where I run all my sprays, paints, WD-40s, lubricants, cleaners, all in the top drawer, right? So got some gloves over there, whatever I need to kind of deal with that. But that is my recommendation if you're looking for a way to easily organize any fabrication parts and pieces. Create a nice box, nice bench with a wooden top on it. And you can easily put everything in here and quickly figure out what you have or maybe what you don't have.